This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Again, here we are not neutral, and we have never claimed to be, because we have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why it is clear we are the headquarters of the truth. And today we have a beautiful story to tell you. We are taking you all the way to Guyana, the land of many rivers, the land of many waters, Guyana. And we're going to be telling you a story that is going to blow your mind. I love Guyana, and I'm soon going to be telling you why I love Guyana. You must love Guyana too. You could call it English Guyana, because it is the only country in South America that speaks English. My brother, my sister, many people consider it to be part of the Caribbean because a lot of Caribbean activities happen right there in terms of the soca, the calypso, and even more. The Indians are also there, like we have in Jamaica and some other parts of the Caribbean. But Guyana is not a Caribbean country. It is in South America. We have French Guyana and we have English Guyana, the only English-speaking country in South America. That is where we are taking you to. My name is Blakk Rasta, and this is how the story unfolds. Watch this. And it says it simply. Guyana, mystery country that celebrates Ghana beyond Ghana. Now, if the independence of a certain country is celebrated in another country outside the country that is celebrating its independence, you must call that a blessing. Now, every 6th of March in Guyana, they celebrate Ghana with what is known as the Ghana Day. They started celebrating Ghana even before Guyana became independent. Now, Ghana became independent from the Gold Coast on the 6th of March in 1957. And the man who led us to our independence, the very first president of the nation, was the great Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. Guyana was not independent then. It took another 9 solid years before Guyana became independent on the 26th of May in 1966. Now, this is how the story even gets more interesting. Ghana became independent. 9 years later, Guyana became independent. But Kwame Nkrumah was a man who had met and talked and even became friends with a lot of Guyanese people. The man who first led Guyana to independence, the very first president of Guyana, who is so respected, his name is Forbes Burnham. Now, Forbes Burnham met Kwame Nkrumah, spoke with Kwame Nkrumah. In fact, Nkrumah himself got so inspired by great people like C.L.R. James and even more. A lot of Guyanese people were uprooted from Guyana and taken all the way to Ghana, the newly independent country, to serve as advisors to the great Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. There was a Siamese kind of relationship which still exists between Ghana and Guyana. Now, Ghana is named after a mineral resource in this country, which is gold. The country used to be called the Gold Coast. And then Kwame Nkrumah wanted a name that will just go beyond gold. So he asked his very good friend Gamal Abdel Nasser before the independence of this country, just as the independence storm was beginning to unfold. And he asked him, what is the Arabic word for wealth? And he said, Ganiyu. He said, well, that rings a bell. Nkrumah decided to name our country Ghana after the ancient Ghana kingdom, which itself was so rich in gold. History tells us that there was no country in the world at the time of the Ghana Empire that was richer than the Ghana Empire, to the point that not even a single member or citizen of the empire was poor. Everybody was rich. We all remember the story of Mansa Musa, how he carried gold all the way from Mali. That was several hundreds of years after the Ghana Empire. Mali was part of the Ghana Empire. But my brother, my sister, today the story is thicker than just the Ghana Empire. Slavery happened. Free people from Africa were enslaved and carried beyond the oceans and taken away. Some landed up in Jamaica, some landed in America, and many more. A lot of the people landed in Guyana. And when they landed in Guyana, a lot of them from our country today called Ghana, from the Akan, and also from the northern part of Ghana called the Dagomba. When they landed in Guyana, they bonded. They continued with their culture. They spoke their language. The colonial administration, in fact, the slave administrator decided to stop them from speaking their language and also fighting them from uniting. But they couldn't. They resisted them. And in 1763, there was a rebellion. And it was started by people who were taken from this part of the world today called Ghana. They included Kofi, but in Guyana they call him Kofi. They included Akaba and Akara. Three of them. It is said that Kofi was from the Akan, Akaba was from the northern part of Ghana, and Akara was from the capital today called Accra. My brother, my sister, they jailed and fought against the white slave trader, conquered the white slave trader, and took over the governance of Guyana. Today, Guyana is said to be built by these very powerful, free Africans taken from present-day Ghana and enslaved. I am talking about Kofi, who in Guyana today is called Kofi, Akara, and Akaba. They are the founding fathers of the great Guyana, the land of many rivers, the land of many waters. My brother, my sister. Now the interesting story continues like this. A lot of people from Ghana were deposited in Guyana. So there already was a symbiotic existence between the people who were already there and the new people who came all the way from Africa, specifically from this part of the country today called Ghana, the part of the world today called Ghana. Now watch this interesting story. Come here. Watch this. Now, as modern day Ghana was beginning to start, Kwame Nkrumah had gone to England, was also in America studying and advocating for the independence of this nation. He met so many great minds. C.L.R. James. He met with the great Forbes Burnham. He met with another man by name Chedi Jagan. My brother, my sister, this is Chedi Jagan. And just gone by, the great Forbes Burnham. There is an airport in Guyana that is named after this great man called Chedi Jagan. Nkrumah met all these people and sold to them. This is Kwame Nkrumah with Chedi Jagan in the days talking nothing but Pan-Africanism. So modern day Ghana and modern day Guyana continue to rise from the dust of slavery and still be bonded this strong. Oh my God. Kwame Nkrumah also met with Forbes Burnham. In fact, they sat down and even talked. That's them together. Oh my God. And the two countries agreed that they would forever be called one country. No wonder the two countries have similar names. Guyana, Ghana. And both countries are named after resources in the country. Guyana, land of many waters, land of many rivers. In Ghana, We call this country Ghana because of our wealth, the gold, and much more. Named after the ancient Ghana kingdom, the warrior king. My brother, my sister, today we are talking about the mystery country that celebrates Ghana beyond Ghana, and that is Guyana. There was a woman by name Esther Day. When Ghana was just about to proclaim its independence from the parliament of Guyana, there were only 2 females in the Guyanese parliament at the time. The lady was called Esther Day. She pushed for the celebration of the independence of Ghana in Guyana. Can you imagine that? Let's celebrate the independence of Ghana in our country, Guyana, because we are one country. And when we celebrate it, it will give us the impetus, the energy, the spirit to fight for our own independence. And Ghana would also support us to grab our independence. After all, we are just one country, right from the days of slavery, all our struggles and more. And Esther Day got it right. Sugrim Singh was another man who had encountered Kwame Nkrumah, and he supported this idea, gave so many reasons in parliament and beyond why Ghana should be celebrated in Guyana, the independence. Oh my God. The colonial administration didn't want the idea. There was a journalist by name Percy Armstrong, and he was writing for the Guyanese Times, better called the Guyana Times. He wrote against the celebration of the independence of Ghana in Guyana. He said, we are not Ghana. We have to celebrate our own independence. Forget about these people called Ghana. We are Guyana. We must celebrate us. But he didn't succeed. All his bad writing about the independence of Ghana being celebrated in Guyana came to nothing, and the independence took shape. Within the first 2-3 years, over 20,000 people walking and marching on the streets of Burden, Georgetown, and beyond increased. Ghana was being celebrated big time in Guyana. Oh my God. And Nkrumah kept close ties with them. Now in 1964, the PMP and the PNC had some confusion. There are 2 big parties in Guyana, and Kwame Nkrumah had to send emissaries to help resolve some of these differences. He was just like the Prime Minister of Guyana at the time. Anything Kwame Nkrumah said was listened to because he had Guyanese advisors sitting right here in Ghana. And everything he did, he roped in the Guyanese. Oh Lord. The mystery country that celebrates Ghana beyond Ghana. That is Guyana. Oh Lord. Now, Guyana became independent on the 26th of May, 1966. And Nkrumah was overly happy. On the Independence Day of Ghana, he invited 2 great people to come over from Guyana, Forbes Burnham. In fact, he also invited many other people from around the black world, including Louis Armstrong, to come in and sing. Chedi Jagan also had his turn to be invited over to Ghana for celebration. From that time till now, it's been a very wonderful symbiotic relationship. Ghana Day celebrated. And what does it look like to celebrate Ghana's Independence Day? Themed Ghana Day celebration right there in Guyana. Look, they hoist high the flag of Ghana alongside the flag of Guyana. And both flags have the same colors except the black. My brother, my sister, red, gold, and green. And they fly so high. They wear Ghanaian, in fact, clothing, fabrics, and they dance the Ghana way. Oh my God. They beat drums, celebrate Ghana the same way it is celebrated in Ghana. This probably is the only country whose Independence Day is officially celebrated in another country. That is not the country. The mystery country that celebrates Ghana beyond Ghana. And that is Guyana. Look at the pretty ladies. These are all Guyanese ladies, dressed like Ghanaian ladies. And on the day, they try to speak some Ghanaian languages and eat a lot of Ghanaian foods. All because of the great symbiotic relationship between Kwame Nkrumah and the great people of Guyana. Today, if you are a Ghanaian and you travel to Guyana, you are treated like a prince or a princess. Guyana is a very vast piece of land, rich in so many different things, flora and fauna, including gold and oil. I traveled all the way to Guyana. Oh gosh, for the very first time, about some 8 years ago, and I had a first-hand taste of Ghana Day. I went there to perform. There I was in that helicopter that flew me all the way from Georgetown to Aurora, where they had just discovered oil and gold. And I performed in the jungle for these wonderful people. Oh my God, in Guyana. It was beautiful, lovely, seeing so many different wonderful people coming together, all in the spirit of Ghana. I also went all the way to Berbice, where the great coffee, originally from this part of the world today called Ghana. Oh my God, used to take a walk, and that was me standing there in Berbice. Oh Lord, I was extremely excited that there was even a coin that had the face of coffee right there. And I decided to pick one. And there is my hand showing the beautiful coin. Oh my God, bearing the name of somebody from my country called Ghana. Ghana is overly celebrated right there in Guyana. Guyana is a very beautiful country. There you see it, the Berbice Revolt, February the 23rd, 1763. And there you see coffee. And they became a republic in 1970, 4 years after independence, on the same day of the Berbice Revolt. My brother, my sister, Guyana is a piece of history, a piece of Ghanaian history that can never, ever be thrown away. The land of many waters, land of so many rivers. You fly over the Amazon, all the way down into the beautiful capital, Georgetown. Guyana. Ghana Day is still being celebrated. They celebrated the independence of Ghana before Ghana even became independent. And on the very first celebration of the Ghana Independence Day, aka the Ghana Day, look at the people who were the main speakers. The Ethiopian Abuna was there. And look all the way, his name is Jesus Abe Gebre. And of course, Georgetown's Mayor Claude Merriman was also there to speak. And this was Ghana Day, including Dr. Roll Farley holding the microphone. These are great Guyanese people who spoke on the very first Ghana Day celebration. Today they might not be with us. They have transitioned into another world, but they still have the spirit of the great Ghana. Ghana independence is celebrated. Guyana has taken the step forward to show that two countries can be united both in spirit and also in culture. Today, I am not the only Ghanaian who visited Guyana, but the very first Ghanaian artist to step forward into Guyana. Stonebwoy followed 8 years later. And then Jerry John Rawlings, a president of this nation at one time, also traveled all the way to Guyana. And the Guyanese loved him, especially his style. What was his style? He always wore the army camouflage and had a pistol right in his shoe. In the full glare of all Guyanese people, he solidified the relationship between Ghana and Guyana. In fact, he renewed it. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president who just faded out, was also there. He went there to renew our relationship, the two countries together. My brother, my sister, Ghana and Guyana are just one country. No wonder, anytime you mention Ghana, people think you're saying Guyana. And when you say Guyana, people think it's Ghana. Can two countries like this be so united in the beauty of culture and history? This is the story of Guyana, the mystery country that celebrates Ghana beyond Ghana. Sometimes I'm tempted to think that Guyanese celebrate Ghana more than even Ghanaians celebrate Ghana in Ghana. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, and here we speak truth to power. I can't wait to get to Guyana, and I can't wait to go taste the sweet juices of the sugar cane, and also the sweet coconuts, all the way from Berbice and beyond. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, and here we speak truth to power. Today we've been talking about the beautiful country of Guyana, how it celebrates Ghana. Its Independence Day is official. It was agreed to in Parliament, and from that time till now, it's been like that. And the graves of some wonderful Guyanese patriots are sitting right here with us in Ghana. The two nations have been united in spirit, in culture, and in history. It's been the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power.